presentation with my friends. Hi, my name is Gujjula, and this is my presentation on school shootings in America. The United States has an increase of gun violence-related epidemic, and this has been very much affecting schools and everyday children, and parents are losing their children to this violence. So the main things that I want to talk to you about in this presentation is that what are school shootings and how are these, what do these school shootings have in common, and what are the consequences for these survivors of these shootings. School shootings are an attack on an educational institution that involves a firearm, whereas a mass shooting involves more than 4 people who are injured by a firearm. And in media, you mostly hear about the mass shootings, whereas school shootings mostly involve handguns and 1 to 2 people instead. So how common are school shootings? Actually, they're very rare, but in the last 18 years, there have been more deaths related to school shooting events than the entire 20th century. And especially in 2018, there's been a record number with 94 incidents of school-related shootings. School shootings since 2009, especially in the United States, have been increased to 288 incidents compared to 34 of the next industrialized countries. It lets you know the difference in gun culture in America. So why is there an increase in school shootings? Well, there's actually lately a reduction in gun laws, and as well as weak background regulations that make access to guns a lot more easier. Parents not knowing how to secure their own firearms tend to give access to their own adolescents and teenagers. So, and the other main reason why there's a higher toll of deaths is because of more access to high capacity military type of weapons. High capacity semi-automatic weapons have actually increased in gun crimes from 33% to 112% since 2000. The biggest school shootings, the 3 biggest school shootings we have in America have been Columbine, Virginia Tech, and Sandy Hook, which all have one thing in common, and that is that the shooter has chosen a semi-automatic weapon as their choice of weapon. And the main thing that most of these school shooters have in common is somehow they've been able to get easy access to guns, and some of them have mental health issues or limited conflict resolution skills because they have less access to health care and counseling. And one of the other major things is in high school, a lot of kids go out in revenge and using targeted incidents with handguns, so which increases the amount of school shootings that there are. The consequences of these school shootings is that survivors face intense trauma, and this impacts their school education system, it impacts their environment, and impacts their even future achievements. Usually in these schools that involve school shootings, the enrollment falls at least 5%, and even their standardized tests in students fall. But there is far less research of the psychological aspect of how these survivors change their mentality in the future. So in conclusion, there's actually been a big array of increase in school violence due to easier access of firearms, which is due to weak gun laws and increase in semi-automatic weapons, which actually have increased the death toll than compared to usual regular shootings. School administrations should implement mental school health services to support these students who are emotionally vulnerable to these situations, and as well as help educate to prevent further violence of these type of shootings. Thank you guys for listening to my presentation.
Yeah, it's a good presentation.